All right.
Okay.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Film Talk. I did not
Did you
forget the
forget the
show.
name of the show?
That is the name of the show. Yeah. Welcome. I'm here. As in the last episode, I'm here with my co-host Scott,
Hello.
and we have a special guest, Billy. How's it going?
Going good. It's going good. Life's been very nice, and it's been a while since I've seen Mac and Scott, but it's always nice catching up.
Yeah, it
And
was
Yeah.
nice
we
catching
picked
up.
a we picked a heck of a movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you
This is
did.
a great movie.
Great movie. Great movie to talk about.
I
Those of you
appreciate the pick because I don't know if we would have gotten around to it if it was just me and Mac.
Yeah, we picked so many goofy films,
Right. We
but
did Hot Shots 1 and 2 last.
yeah, and then we did do Blast from the Blast. Oh fuck.
Oh yeah, yeah, Blast from the Past.
Yeah,
But
that was
that's
our
another
last
goofy
episode.
movie.
Go watch that.
Yeah.
But so Billy, as you know, when we do this show, we just literally just go deep in it and talk about the plot of the film and everything, and then we'll just talk about key points of the film. So,
Did we name the film yet, Mac?
huh? Oh yeah, Godzilla. If you haven't looked at the thumbnail, I mean, obviously this guy or the background that I got right here, or this guy right here in the background that's
Yeah,
I
if you
keep
can't tell by
disappearing.
his background.
Yeah, I'm disappearing and reappearing in. We are doing Godzilla -1.
Imagine if we were doing like Pride and Prejudice. You just have Godzilla in the background.
Yeah, we're doing Pride and Prejudice. Damn it! We're gonna talk about zombies. No, we're talking about Pride and Prejudice. Damn it, that's not zombies. Anyway, guys, this is a great episode. We're gonna be talking about this. So let's go ahead and get started. We're talking about Godzilla -1. You know what? I'll start it off because I usually forget a lot of stuff and I get it wrong and I get names wrong. But
Well, when did you first see this, Mac?
huh?
When did you first see this movie? Is this your first time watching
This
it?
is actually my first time watching it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
it
I
was my
saw it
first time
like
watching it.
three
But
times in theaters. So I'm a big fan. I own the Blu-ray. I own a
um,
Japanese Blu-ray that I actually can't even read the inserts. But it was not available in America for a very long time.
Luckily,
And
they changed that.
luckily they changed that and now
yeah,
it's widely available. Find it on Netflix, go watch it.
yeah. Go watch it on Netflix. It's actually good.
Yeah. I think they have both versions. I think they have -1 and minus color.
Right. All right. Um, I guess you want my take
Billy?
on it or something,
Well,
or you
Billy,
want? Oh,
when did
go
you
for
first
it.
watch it?
So I was just going through Fandango and because I go to the movies a lot, and it said an advanced screening of Godzilla -1. And I was like, okay, new Godzilla movie, and it was by Toho, so it was an official Godzilla movie too. Because I
Mhm.
do love the MonsterVerse
They're
movies.
fun.
People don't really know that I love kaiju movies. Like when Pacific Rim came out, I was so excited because I was thought this would be like it would be a gateway for people to see kaiju movies.
Yeah.
So like King Kong, Godzilla, um, Gamera, all those guys. I love it. So I saw that, but then I watched it and I was expecting, the typical thing where all the human stuff is crap and we were just there to see giant monsters. And then I was shocked to find out that this is actually a very poignant character study about hope and resilience, and that when Godzilla comes on screen, he's actually terrifying.
Yeah.
Like in the theater, the sound design was wow. Like whenever he
Yeah.
used his atomic breath, which he didn't use many times in this movie, you felt it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was
It,
shocked in the
it's
best possible way.
and it's crazy how much they did on such a limited budget because it's like I believe it's listed as like 10 to 15 million dollars as on the budget, but like it looks like any big budget blockbuster you've ever seen. It looks just as good as, some of the MonsterVerse movies.
Yeah. But I just want to say this, Billy. You hit the nail on. You hit the nail on the way. I agree with you. When I first started playing this film, I was like, it's gonna be just like Garrett Evans' Godzilla. I'm gonna be worried about the humans. I don't give a fuck about the humans. Let me see the monster. But let me be honest. I may get the names wrong of each of these characters, but if you put them on the screen, I remember each one of them. They really carry the film more than Godzilla. And I mean, I know I'm showing Godzilla in the background a lot, but they do carry the film more than the monster, and that speaks a lot. So they did a damn good job doing that.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
that
like a
just
really
says,
incredible human story.
You said
yeah,
what?
Sorry.
sorry. I was just gonna say, and that's incredible because that almost has never happened in the history of Godzilla, and
Right.
it's taken 70 years, but they finally figured it out.
Yeah.
Finally figured it out. We had
I think the
two men
closest they
with.
came might have been like the one before it, Shin Godzilla.
Shin Godzilla is also very good.
It is, yeah.
Um, I don't know when Toho decided, hey, let's actually put some effort in the human story, but whatever they're doing, keep it up.
Keep it
Yeah.
Like,
up. Yeah, keep it
I
up.
want
really.
follow-ups to both movies.
Well, we're getting a follow-up to this one, thankfully,
Yes.
by the
Yeah.
same creators and everything. So
Okay.
I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm
Yeah.
excited. I
I
don't
am
care how
too.
long it takes either. It could be a decade from now. I'll be
Well,
there.
yeah,
For
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. But like I said, this is a great film. I was like awestruck. I was like, wow, I actually, because the first one. Here's the thing: when I first saw the film, I was going into it like, here we go, the humans. Don't give a fuck about them. But then I was like, wait a minute, I like this. It's pretty good, interesting, you know. But I guess we
All
got
right.
to get it,
So
huh?
yeah, let's talk about the movie.
All right, so I'll start it up because I'll probably fuck up everything. So it starts in 1940. The war is still going on. World War II is still going on. We
Tail
got
end of
fire,
the war.
huh?
The tail end of the war.
Tail end of the war, yeah. It's about to it's still happening, and kamikaze plot with Byers Remorse. Can can I get his name right for the love of me?
Koichi.
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 Is literally having survivor's guilt, and he's on an island, and he's with the other soldiers, looking around and just moping around, and then all of a sudden Godzilla pop up. But we do get a good story behind it, what he goes through and all the things that he goes through. Godzilla shows up, he attacks. They are all scared, and then he comes back. He comes back to find out that his whole family has died except for um, God, his her name,
Oh well, you're.
huh?
I mean, you're skipping over all the great character stuff that happens on that island,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
Y'all go
like
ahead.
meeting
Yeah, yeah. I like I said, brain fart.
yeah, meet Tachibana, who is like the head of the mechanics
Right.
there, and he's the one that realizes he's like, wait a minute, your plane is fine. What are you really doing here?
Yeah.
And he deduces, he's being a coward. For for Japan, that's a very big like cultural thing.
Yeah.
Like dying for your country and stuff. They did not surrender. Let's just put it lightly. For them to surrender during World War II, we had to drop two atomic bombs on them on two of their cities for them to finally surrender it. They don't quit.
No. No.
But here this guy is doing it, and he's a kamikaze pilot. So he didn't want to commit suicide.
Right.
And we learned later why, too.
Right.
And then Tachibana is like, I agree, we need more people like you because like they're like right at the end of the war, they know they basically lost, but also at the same time, like it is in like their culture to not, surrender or be cowardly like that. So this is something that Koichi holds with him throughout the rest of the film. And
Yeah, and then we get like the first appearance of Godzilla. It's just a light shined on him, and yeah, he's clearly CGI, but you really don't care.
Yeah, it
Like
looks
they,
good.
they make the scale feel great. Like you said, this movie was made for 10 million. I've seen movies that are like, and I think we all have seen movies that are like $250 million, and they look like crap.
Yep.
yeah, they use Godzilla exactly as much as they need to. Like they hide him in the shadows and the water and like in different ways. But when they like need to like show him off, like in the picture behind Mac, it's they went all out and like he looks incredible.
Yeah, he looks incredible.
Yeah, I think it's better than the Shin Godzilla design because it looks more like the original 54 version of it,
Yeah.
but it also looks a bit like the MonsterVerse version, which like Japan has complained that that version is too fat, and I can kind of see it. They sort of slimmed him down a little bit.
A little. But
I
yeah,
mean,
he is still pretty chunky.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He is chunky. Yeah.
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 What I
But
love
and
about this Godzilla is like he's like a force.
yeah.
He's like a hurricane or something. You can't
Yeah.
stop.
He's basically God's will be done. That's what basically he is.
Yeah, and the way they ultimately do stop him, I mean, it's a Godzilla movie. You got to stop him. Like they have to think outside the box.
Yeah.
It's not a you can't like just shoot him down.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
like and they tried everything, but
yeah,
we're getting too far ahead with the shooting part.
I guess so. Yeah, yeah. We have it. Okay, so Koichi, after the attack from Godzilla on the island, um, he's him and Tachibana are the only survivors, and uh, Tachibana gives him a packet of pictures from all of the dead soldiers, so that Koichi can hang on to them and basically be haunted by them for, the rest of his life. So he holds on to them, he goes back home, he finds his house is destroyed, his parents are dead, his neighbor hates him because he's a coward,
And
you
she
know.
lost all her children
She
too.
lost all of her children. Yeah. And he's just stacked with survivor's guilt on top of survivor's guilt. It's
Right.
just it's devastating for him. And then he runs into this woman who thrusts a baby into his arms and then runs away,
As you do.
as you do.
As you do, yeah. Here,
Yeah.
bye.
And he can't just leave it. So yeah, so he sits there for a while and then he takes the baby with him and then she pops back up again, Noriko, and they kind of strike up a weird relationship because they're taking care of this baby who is not hers,
Yeah.
which,
Yeah,
and all of them are orphans.
And so it's a found family movie
Yeah,
as well. So
yeah.
we got that going for us.
yeah,
And I think it's great that they didn't set this movie during like the original Godzilla, which was like in the 50s and stuff. But this is still made by people like by a country that actually experienced, nuclear fallout.
yeah,
So I
Yeah.
would think that they would be taught like what that was. Like obviously there's nobody alive today, or if they are, they're incredibly old. But I would think that that history is passed down, and you feel like the post World War II, like Japan lost, and they were basically hated throughout most of the world.
yeah.
So it's kind of like a perfect analogy for Japan as a whole.
And this movie is very critical of Japan during and after the war. Like the fact that they had kamikaze pilots is a big, contention in this movie. Like obviously, it's not coming off on the side of kamikaze good. Like
Yeah,
it's
you're not supposed to come back.
yeah, and like the whole, we're getting ahead. I'm getting ahead again, but like the whole civilian-led effort at the end, like, is spitting right in the face of, the government-led kamikaze.
Oh, oh, why can't the government just unite into one? But we're so scattered.
All right, so
I mean,
Mac, where do we go from here?
Oh, so
They're
now
raising
I believe,
Akiko.
I believe we're on the boat, aren't we? We're on the boat.
He
Right?
hasn't. No, you tell us about the boat.
Yeah, okay, we're gonna talk about the boat, people. This is what happens on the boat. So on the boat, they're joined by Kenji, Kenji, who is
Kenji,
Kenji,
Doc,
who is a marine biologist, um, and he's wicked smart. He's very smart. Well, I mean
is
marine
wicked smart.
biologist, huh?
He's wicked smart.
Wicked smart. Yeah, he for a marine biologist, he's more smarter than you think. I don't know. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know if marine biologists got to be this smart, but he's pretty smart as a whip. Um, but he's leading the charge. They're going out, just going on, just excavating, trying to find stuff, and then they run into Godzilla.
Well, what are they
Uh,
trying? They're trying to shoot landmines.
yeah, they're
Like
trying to shoot
still
landmines,
there are still active landmines from the war,
war, and they're trying to get rid of
and
them.
they're
And
trying to get rid
they
of.
get a lot of money for it.
Yeah,
They do.
But that's also part of the risk is that, it's landmines
yeah,
and there were thousands of them and there's
yeah.
no guarantee. And he's like,
Okay,
"Oh yeah, no, that's a special boat. It's just a wooden boat."
yeah, that's
Right.
And the
all it
reason
is.
why is
Well,
because if it was like metal, it would be magnetic and then they would instantly just like blow up.
well, here's the thing: we get to see how special that boat is because that boat holds its own. Don't underestimate the boat. you know,
Yeah, the boat is very special.
but yeah, very
Well, yeah,
special.
because it has a bunch of colorful characters and I love them all.
Yeah.
During this scene, I got like a sort of mixture of Jaws a little bit. If I'm wrong for saying that on
Sure,
that
yeah,
boat.
there's a little bit of Jaws in there.
Yeah, yeah. That the scene that kind of gripped me, like the whole scene of them getting to know each other on the boat. That what I felt like when I was watching like the end of Jaws. That's what I felt like. So
Yeah, and
I
they
guess
become like a little found family too.
yeah, yeah. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, they go over to his house like all the time to have dinner, and they're all in good spirits.
Yeah.
There's Doc, there's the kid who didn't fight in war, and of course, there's the captain.
yeah.
Um, Akitsu, I think is his
He's yeah,
name, or
Yeah,
Seiji.
Kitsu.
yeah.
And
Like I said, don't get me started because I don't know how to spell their names.
yeah, it's just easier to just call him Doc, the kid, and the captain.
Doc, kid, and the captain.
Yeah.
Uh, so anyway, as they're trying to dispose of these green mines, they come across Godzilla, and Godzilla is chasing them, and
Well, they're sent to go like investigate
yeah, they
essentially
are, they are,
the destroyed tanker.
yeah, and Godzilla pops up,
Well, they're essentially sent to like lure Godzilla out
right,
to get to the no, to the tanker that's coming towards them.
right,
And they were used to delay the arrival of a battleship,
Yeah.
so they were basically just used as bait.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah, but because they could get the landmines, like they could collect their own weapons as they go.
yeah. Didn't he? Didn't the kid? Sorry, didn't he know how to? Didn't he was the only one on that ship that could run that gun? Am I correct?
Well, no, Koichi was on the gun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Koichi
he
was
was
the
on the gun.
gun, Doc was the smarts, and the kid was just trying to prove himself.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
he was helping put the mine out because those things were heavy.
yeah. They're incredibly
Yeah,
huge.
he was the one like detonating the mine. Or he detonated the first mine and then the second
Yeah,
mine got the wire cut.
and then he shot the mine and it blew up Godzilla's face.
It
So,
did. But
huh?
it I mean that's not gonna hurt him.
It,
It
it
hurts him a
wasn't
little
gonna
bit,
hurt
but
him.
he comes right back.
I mean,
His face just grows right
it
back.
hurt. No, you ain't gonna tell me that didn't hurt, Scott. That hurt. That looked like it hurt.
I mean, he took out the fucking battleship
Like it
Fair,
was
like right
made out
after.
of
fair,
tinfoil.
fair.
Yeah.
And they didn't even he even got bigger because he when he was on the island, I mean like still he was big,
Hmm.
but because of the nuclear testing and stuff, which has always been a tradition of the Godzilla movies, is that
Yeah.
typically his origin is it's of aquatic origin, doesn't really matter what kind, but they detonate some bombs and the nuclear radiation gains from there transforms him into Godzilla. So he's even bigger now. It's
And
like the
that's why he
size of
has the
him.
atomic breath now too, which he displays when he destroys the boat.
Yeah, and I love the depiction of the atomic breath because it's not, it feels atomic because
Hmm.
it feels like it dropped a bomb on
Yeah.
you and it will go through anything.
Anything. Yeah, it's just man, that thing looked destructive. I
Yeah,
mean,
and they use it almost against him at the end of the or towards the end of the movie in their final
yeah,
plan.
yeah, they do. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
um, so after, so who's next? I went far.
Okay, so Koichi works on the boat for a while raising Akiko with Noriko, and everyone keeps trying to push Koichi to kind of like move on. Like he keeps finding reasons to live, but like he's still racked with guilt, and he refuses to like marry Noriko, even though they're already raising a child together.
Yeah,
And she clearly has the hots for him as well.
clearly.
Totally. Yeah.
I mean, like it's kind of awesome that Koichi's life is going well, and it helps that his neighbor, her name is Sumiko,
Sumiko.
helps raise Akiko as well, and Akiko calls him daddy, and he just goes, "We talked about this. Don't call me dad." And they're like, "That's a horrible thing to say."
She's like this little like toddler, and he's
Yeah,
like,
and
"I'm not
she's
your
so
dad."
cute
Yeah,
too.
she
He's
is. She
adorable.
is.
Kiko is adorable.
Or Kika's adorable. Yeah. Um.
Yeah, so he refuses to move on, and Noriko decides to move on, and says that she's gonna go get a job in the city, and she does. And her first day does not go very well.
No,
Nope.
no, it does not.
It does not.
Mac, tell us what happens on her first day.
Damn.
I'll give
What?
you a hint. It's behind you.
Oh man, I know, I know. I don't want to talk about it. What happens on the first day? Godzilla shows up and he fucks everything up. I mean, he just
Yeah.
shows up, destroys literally. Well, first I got good preference. They did try to stop him with landmines. It didn't work, and then he went through the thing. I actually want to say that they did the score, which was amazing. The score from the original Godzilla film, which is amazing. I like the fact that they did it. They didn't remix it. They didn't do anything. They just kept it plain and simple, which is awesome. I like the fact, but besides that, besides getting into that, he goes into the city. He destroys everything. He just keeps going on. They don't know what's going on. They don't know what to do, and they're coming out with the buildings crashed down, thinking everything is over, just like a tornado. If you look at it, it
I
looks
mean,
like
there's that
almost.
great scene of the news crew on top of the roof.
Oh yeah,
Like they just won't leave. And so, like as Godzilla is walking towards them, and then Godzilla just sort of like nudges the building,
yeah.
and the part that they're on just completely
Just
collapses.
crash. Yeah.
It's just a great scene.
It's great scene. But then comes the part where we all know what's coming because we already saw this once happen. But Godzilla literally charges up his atomic breath.
Well, first Koichi shows up,
Oh
and he
yeah,
finds Noriko.
Yeah, what are the odds
Yeah,
that he
it's
finds a?
insane.
Because this is a part of Tokyo. It's Ginza, so it's like he's on the mainland. And what's happening? What do they always do in Godzilla movies? The military shows up, the tanks, and it does nothing.
nothing.
Of course.
Absolutely
Absolutely
nothing. The
nothing.
only thing that was missing from this movie, the one tradition, is that Godzilla didn't destroy a pagoda. He always destroys a pagoda.
Uh,
uh,
maybe in the next one.
maybe in my sequel
Here's
pitch
hoping.
we'll do that. We'll
Yeah.
discuss that. I don't know.
That's gonna be my whole sequel pitch.
Ah,
It's
damn
this pagoda.
it.
No.
Luckily, that backup plan is gone. All right. But yeah, so that's what happened, and that happens, and the scene that we all know we knew was when I saw it I knew it was coming. I just didn't know it was going to be that that was what was going to happen. So Godzilla charges up his atomic breath and he lets it go. Akio literally not Akio. What's her name?
Noriko.
Huh?
Noriko.
Noriko literally sees it and pushes Hashima out the way into the building, and she gets caught in the blast. Then, and the aftermath, they everybody is like coming out the rubble. Everybody is wondering what's going on. Hashima is looking for, her, and they just think that she is. Well, the belief is she is dead, which is
Yeah,
sad.
like she gets taken away by essentially a nuclear blast.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Among thousands of other people
Yeah.
that get squashed, blown away by the blast, or just probably just died in the collapsing buildings.
Right.
I mean, he really does some damage in this
Oh yeah,
movie,
he
and
does. Yeah.
whenever he roars, like when I saw it in the theater, like you feel that you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Like you're terrified of this thing. It really feels like a force of nature. And again, it's amazing that this was like made on such a small budget.
I
It
had
really,
surround sound
really.
on, and I could hear it. So I was listening with surround sound, and I heard that one. I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "What
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
fuck is
The I
that? Is
mean the
that
sound
real?"
design, the music, everything in this movie
Oh yeah,
is top notch.
fucking fantastic. Um,
Yeah.
And I
But
like that we got to know the characters for most of the movie is actually humans. Godzilla's barely in it.
barely in
yeah.
it.
Yeah, he pops up every, so often, but like for the most part it's humans.
Yeah,
You're with the humans the entire way.
But
right.
you spend all this time with Koichi and you understand his perspective as well.
Hmm.
Here's
Like
like,
it's not
wow.
so much that he doesn't want to reciprocate his feelings for Noriko and Akiko and like accept this found family. It's more so that he doesn't feel like he deserves it.
Right.
Exactly.
There's a scene later on where he confesses what happened right after they saw Godzilla, like him and the minesweeper crew. Um, and he's like saying I'm haunted by ghosts and stuff, and is this even real? Like, why should I live and everything? And Noriko's like, no, 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 you gotta live
Yeah. He
because
says that a few times where he's like, "Am I awake? Is this a dream?" Stuff like that.
yeah, and it's like he's stuck living in the past, and that's not a good thing for anybody.
Hmm.
Like the ultimate message really is the past will eat you alive, but the future will save you.
Yeah,
And you got to have something to fight for.
Right.
In this case, it's Noriko, his found family, and his friends.
exactly. He just keeps on like finding new things to like live for. And like he still keeps feeling this like, but I should be dead. Like I was supposed to die. Like he feels he was supposed to die before he ever ran into Godzilla.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about guilt. It controls you. You don't control it.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah. But so they memorialize Noriko because obviously there's no body.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, but they don't tell Akiko what happened, but she's still sad anyway.
They said that she went on a long vacation or something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Kenji invites, or Doc, he invites Koichi to a secret meeting to formulate a plan to take down Godzilla once and for all.
Yeah. I this is where I'm thinking like this man is smarter than he looks. Literally saying, you know, hey, let's just. I forgot what it was. But I forgot what the chemical was, but let's trap them and sink them in. And
Well, they freeze him with
yeah,
like
they freeze
nitrous
them.
or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Doc said, they're like, how are you this smart? And he was like, oh yeah, no, I was a weapons engineer during the war.
Ah.
So I made weapons. So that's the glasses. He definitely has like that smart person look.
Yeah.
This is all part of my Blu-ray. I can't understand what it says, but I
You got
think
the
it's plans.
schematics
I've got the
for
schematics. It's all in Japanese.
it's actually kind of a smart plan because well, first they get a bunch of everybody that's at that meeting is all ex-Navy. And they even say, if you want to get out, it's totally understandable.
Right.
This isn't an order. This is all done with free will, but the government's not going to do anything. America can't do anything because of the
The Cold
Soviets,
War.
and
Soviets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they'll be seen as a, a reaction,
Right.
and that would be bad.
Like, there can just be no government intervention in the Godzilla problem at
Yeah.
this time.
I
Not like it would
guess
do good anyway.
I
Yeah.
don't. I guess I'm trying to figure out like what that's. And I want to answer this question. Do I? Can I answer this question now? Or you want to answer it later or no?
I don't know what you're gonna ask.
I was saying, well, no, we'll ask it later. I'll ask that later. I'll keep that back in the box. We gotta get through the movie.
Yeah, we got to
Um,
get through the plan.
the plots. It's a pretty good plot. I look good plan. It's a good plan. I
It's similar to the plan from Shin Godzilla
It is.
I didn't
because
watch
they
Shin
also
Godzilla,
freeze
but
him.
I guess yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
didn't
it's
watch it.
in they freeze him in a different way, but they also freeze him.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But what they're essentially trying to do is they're gonna get some ships and wrap around all this
Freon.
nitrogen or something,
I think
or
yeah, like nitrogen bombs
yeah,
essentially.
and they're essentially going to use it to rocket him down in the ocean, and they're hoping that the pressure of the ocean floor is going to, crush
Crush him.
him. But not only that, but they're like, well, what if that doesn't work? Well, okay, then we will.
It's okay. We've got balloons.
Yeah, and they use the balloons for decompression, which
Yeah.
is if you ever go diving, you don't immediately just go up because that could literally expand you to where you explode.
Yeah.
So
That's what he
that's
was
the whole
trying to
idea
do.
It's
is
the
that
bends.
That
the
makes sense. I
changes.
was trying to figure out what he was trying to do by bringing them up. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah,
what he was
no.
trying to do.
So the thing is, you got to get up from and get used to the pressure changes.
Hmm.
But if you do it too quickly, then you can just literally explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's the backup plan. So that's why they had the guys from like the balloon factory there.
That was great. I loved when like the balloon explodes outside and they're like, and then the guy's just like, "Hi, I'm what's my name from Toho Balloons or
Yeah,
whatever."
I did not know who we did not know who you is, but that guy was cool.
He was ready, man. He
He
was
was
ready to
ready
go.
to. He was ready.
He was
All
ready with
these
his sales
actors were
pitch. It
ready.
was great.
Hello, hello there. I'm
Yeah.
I'm Rishikala from Balloon Factory.
Yeah, but that's only part of the plan. They need to lure Godzilla out to this specific part of the bay or whatever, or the to this trench,
I,
the
Which
deepest
is
part.
deepest part of the ocean in Japan.
Yeah,
what was it? Shit.
Koichi.
Kochi.
Koichi literally tells Kenji, "Are you sure this will work?" Like he wanted to be sure. Like, "Are you sure this will work?" He was the only one there. Like, "Are you sure this will work?" And he was like, "We are not sure this will work, but
I mean, how could they be? It's Godzilla.
Because also that speaking in science, you can't really be sure. You can hypothesize
it's
what's going to
only theory.
happen.
They only can do
Yeah,
theories." Like
Yeah.
he answered the question as scientifically as possible.
Yeah, as clear as he can be in
Yeah, like
scientific terms.
I want to know what Koichi would have done if he was like, "Nah, this plan's bad."
well,
He
man,
What
he
would
was
have
was?
like,
just been like, "What's the point?"
"What's the
Yeah,
point?"
he would
Yeah,
have
like
like he would have just ended it.
he was like, "Yeah, we should all just commit suicide because Godzilla's gonna fuck us." I mean,
Yeah,
that's basically what we should have said. But I mean, he delivered it in the best way possible. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but he said, "Look, scientifically, in theory, this should work, but I can't give you 100%. I'm not 100% sure this will work, but because I've never dealt with something of this caliber,
yeah.
so in
But they're
theory,
basically
this
like,
should work."
but they're basically working on like decommissioned ships, and like they find a plane for Koichi to fly that's like wasn't really ever used and isn't like
Yeah,
flight ready. So they need to find a mechanic, and obviously, Koichi has someone in mind.
yeah.
He's like, I gotta get Tachibana. We gotta really
Tachibana.
get the team back together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Tachibana was
he
one of the
does
ones
it.
that happened.
He does
He
it
popped
for
him upside the head and tried to pop him upside the head and put water on him.
well. He even said he was like, "I knew I couldn't find you unless I got you angry."
Yeah.
So yeah, it worked, and
Yeah.
he got punched in the face really really hard for it. But he also did it because not only is he a great mechanic, but it's also just more so like I feel it was for like the closure
For
to
sure.
Yeah,
say, "Hey, man, uh, my life's been hard, and I'm finally going to fulfill my kamikaze duties." I got nothing left to lose in his mind, even though he has everything to lose.
right.
At this point, yeah.
Because he got a family. Well, he got a kid.
I mean, that's enough.
Yeah,
Yeah. And he's got his friends. He still has his friends
yeah, he
who
does.
are also going to fight Godzilla.
And they all love and care about him too. So it's not like, oh, it's not like out of an obligation.
No.
Right,
But I feel like the film presents it to where like he literally just cannot live with this anymore.
right.
Right. Because it's like when he was at war and he was a kamikaze pilot, he didn't have anything to fight for. And now he has something to like fight and die for.
Right.
So he's willing to,
He's willing to give it up.
in his mind,
Yeah, and even the
kamikaze.
captain says later on, he was just like, you knew how Noriko felt about you. Why didn't you do that? And he said, my war's not over yet.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he says it to Tachibana. He said, the war's not over for you either.
Hmm.
And that's one of those things where you're just like, damn, those are good lines.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tachibana fixes up the plane
Well,
and
we got it. Well, I just want to explain to the audience that if you're wondering why they got planes discommissioned, Pearl Harbor, and that's probably the big reason. That's probably a reason because they told them decommission all planes in Japan because those reasons. You know,
Well, yeah, they attacked America and then America kicked their butt and then they were like, okay, this is going to be the penalty
you
for
can't
it.
fly.
You're out.
You can't fly no more. Yeah, because of you, Team America, the War Police got a dag on talk about Pearl Harbor all the time. All right.
That movie did suck though.
it did.
All right,
All right.
Scott. Sorry.
So they're about to go enact the plan, and Koichi leaves Akiko with an envelope and a note to give to Sumiko. And it's like full of money, and it says goodbye. And meanwhile, he goes and gets in the plane. Godzilla comes to the bay to attack, and he comes quicker than they originally thought, I think, right?
Yeah.
Like he attacks early at this point, and they're kind of blindsided. So Koichi has to kind of lure him off of the land and back into the bay.
Yeah,
And
because they were originally going to use a recording of his voice to draw him out and like because Godzilla's a territorial animal
Mhm.
and thought that it would be somebody getting it on his turf. But that doesn't work. He just throws the ship like a football.
Yeah.
And
They
so then
do. I
yeah,
think they do still use those speakers
they
as
do.
they're doing the plan.
Yeah, but then Koichi just comes in and just annoys the crap out of him to the
Yeah,
point where he's just like, "All right, fine, I gotta take care of him."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, no." Godzilla looks really ticked off.
Oh, he
yeah.
was pissed. I mean,
But
he was
then,
very
but then they
pissed.
use that decoy ship to make Godzilla use his atomic breath on.
Right,
So
because
there's
he
just
because
like this unmanned ship that they just have to lure him out, and he uses his atomic breath, blows it up, and then he has to recharge. So
right.
that gives everybody time to wrap him up in the uh, the
I,
hydrogen bombs or whatever the nitrogen bombs.
nitrogen bombs. Yeah.
Yeah. So they do that. They sink him, and it doesn't really work because he's still moving down there, I think.
Yeah.
Right? So they can tell that he's still moving, so they're like, okay, plan B, balloons. So they balloon him up.
Balloons.
Yeah. But like two-thirds of the way up, he eats through the balloons. And those come up, and then he's just stuck down there. So they're all fucked. Oh, we forgot to mention the kid.
Yeah, the
The
kid
kid,
comes in. Kid
well,
Oh
comes
yeah,
in
no,
they
they
like
were
Han
like, "No, no,
Solo.
no, you're not gonna be part of
Woo!
this." And he's
yeah,
just like,
but I
you
want to
know,
fight.
yeah, I want to fight for my country too. Just
Yeah,
because I didn't fight in the war, and they were like, "Hey, going to war is something that you should be proud of."
right.
Right.
She's right. And then, he comes in with all the tugboats. I'm convinced that they stole this. You're gonna hate me for saying this from the Rise of Skywalker, where like all the ships come in and everything. But it's that cliche, but it's
It's
uplifting.
also like Dunkirk.
Yeah, no, it's very much like a cliche, like, oh, we're about to be beaten, everything. It's like, no, you're not, and then all the ships come in
Here
at the
come
same
the
time.
civilian
Here comes the
boats.
cavalry.
All the
And there's a
civilian
bunch of them
tugboats.
too.
There's
Oh,
so
lots of
many,
shit.
and they like tug the big tankers to pull Godzilla up to the surface.
The
Yeah.
little engines that could.
Yep,
It,
and it works.
it works.
And but it doesn't like it doesn't explode him. Like
No.
they want it to. Like he's about to use the atomic breath on them again.
I mean, like, it
And
does some damage
it
for
does
sure, like
damage, yeah.
all over his face and everything, but it just makes him more pissed. if
Exactly.
anything.
Yeah. So
And now
he's about to blow them up,
he's like,
and
all
they're all
right,
like,
now I
"Fuck!"
am
Like it
100%
goes,
done.
everything goes slow mo. It's great, and then all of a sudden, Koichi and his plane comes in and flies
Boom.
directly into Godzilla's mouth
Yeah. And you
and
think
blows his, and the thing fucking blows up, and you're like, "Oh shit!" He just kamikaze,
he did it? He finally popped his cherry.
but he didn't. No, he parachuted out. We flash back to Tachibana revealing that he built in an ejector seat because he wanted Koichi to get over it
He's dark
and
He
get
now.
was
on with
just
his
like,
life.
live.
He's like, live, damn it.
Yeah,
Live.
which is it's kind of like, he was a mechanic for kamikaze, so everything he would make would be destroyed. But here he makes something for somebody to live. So
Right.
really, I think it's closure for him too.
It is, totally. Yeah, they both get the closure that they needed, and Godzilla explodes and then sinks back down the pieces of Godzilla. And, everybody celebrates. Good job. We killed Godzilla, so we think. And then when Koichi gets back to land, he finds out from Sumiko that Noriko's still alive.
Because she was given a telegram, and then
Oh
that's
yeah,
when,
right. Yeah,
like, this was while the final battle was going on,
Yeah,
and
and
she's just like, "Oh, I gotta get there." Like, you didn't know what's on this telegram, and that's what it was.
yeah, I
hmm
thought the telegram was telling them like that. I like how they did it because I didn't know what was going on. Because I thought, is he sending them a telegram telling them that his last will and testament or something? I didn't know.
they were withholding enough information that you were just like, and you were caught up in all the action of everything that's going on that
Right.
you're like, oh, there's a telegram. Okay, we're back to Godzilla.
Yeah, it was the same thing with the ejector seat reveal. Like,
Yeah,
he was just like, "Okay, so this is where you drop the bomb," and then he's like, "Oh yeah, one more thing," and then it
and then
cuts,
that's yeah.
and you're just like, "Why are they doing that?" So it can pay off later.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so they can flash back to the scene where he's just like, "You gotta live," where like he has like the heartfelt moment with Koichi, and yeah, it totally works, and they both get their closure, and then Koichi is reunited with Noriko in the hospital. But Mac, did you catch this? Because I didn't catch this the first time I watched it.
What catch?
On
What
her
she was
neck,
alive?
on, well, I mean, obviously, no, I mean on her neck at
Oh
the
no,
very
I
end.
caught that. Yeah,
You
I
saw that?
did. I
Okay,
did. I caught that.
I
okay.
caught that the first time I saw it too, and
I
I
caught
was
that the
like,
first time. Yeah.
"Are they gonna address that? Like, what's that supposed to be about?"
Yeah, I totally missed it. I was just so caught up in like, oh my God, they're reunited. And then yeah, after that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
There's
yeah,
something on
she
her
she
neck.
has like a black mark crawling up her neck. And isn't that like a sign of like radiation poisoning or something like that?
Think so.
Think
Yeah, but I
so.
mean it wouldn't be like moving like that. So like obviously this is more Godzilla connected.
Okay, so apparently from the director Takashi Yamazaki, he confirmed there's actually a Godzilla Fest in Osaka, which sounds awesome.
Okay.
That the black mark on Noriko's neck was caused by Godzilla's cells, quote unquote.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically, he's saying that a part of Godzilla, it's probably the reason why she survived, honestly, and that's why she's healing.
hmm
Because in a way, we can get, like, if she fused with Godzilla's cells during the fallout. And I mean, I thought it was she had like radiation poisoning or something,
Yeah.
but and then the very end, it's just up this big blob of flesh that is Godzilla is left. Duh, duh,
Dun
duh.
dun
Because
dun
much
dun.
like
Dun, dun.
Jason Voorhees or Freddy Krueger, Godzilla never dies.
Of
Godzilla
course.
never dies. Yeah.
You can't
Can't
kill
kill him.
giant lizard.
Can't keep my boy down.
All right.
Yeah.
Get to the parts. I'm gonna go ahead this while it's fresh on my mind. So, if the U.S. would have intervened and helped them, would they have started a world war? Would that jump started World War Three?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I
I,
mean, it depends on like how much force they used.
Yeah,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
also we forgot to mention like that all the governments and stuff, they try to keep it hush hush. They didn't make it public because they were
Uh.
like, we don't want to cause panic. And they're just like, what are you talking about? People are going to panic anyway when they see a giant monster destroying the city.
Yeah.
There's a giant lizard in my driveway more
You
areas.
can't just ignore it.
How do
Yeah.
you, yeah, how do you hide that? I mean,
Like
I
this.
guess I guess it was easier to hide things back then, but
That
it
was one of the things that happened in the 1998 Godzilla, the Roland Emmerich version.
yeah.
That is the farthest thing from Godzilla. It feels more like a Jurassic Park sequel than it does to Godzilla.
Right.
Yeah,
But
it
they're just
does.
like, "Oh, he just got away." And I was like, "How? This isn't like the Bourne Identity where he could just blend in to
He's a
the
very stealthy
island."
guy. He's just hiding behind buildings.
Yeah, New York is one of the most populated cities in the country, though. It's
Right.
like it's literally impossible to hide. How do you?
Somebody would see it.
I
Yeah.
He
mean,
also goes through a building.
I'm just picturing Archie from the homeowners just literally looking out the window like Alice, Alice. There's a big
One of
ass
these
lizard out.
days.
There's a lizard outside.
There's a goddamn lizard outside the window.
Lizard
Yeah,
outside.
there was also a thing in the movie where he like goes through the middle of a building, but
Yeah.
it's like you ever seen like those paper things at homecoming football games? It was more like he went through one of those things rather than a building because I'm like that building would have collapsed.
Yeah, it just left like a
It's so
Godzilla
silly.
shaped hole.
You
But
know,
here
you know,
like
seeing that Shrek coming out, it made me feel like from that scene from Shrek where the dragon just like all the mirrors just cracked, and then there was just one mirror cracked, and she just went. That's what I felt like Godzilla was doing. It was like, oh well.
I mean basically, yeah, and I like
Yeah.
and
Like
I'm not
every
even just talking
step, like
about
yeah.
like literal like damage and stuff. I mean like the character weight as well, because everybody is a really good actor.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
everyone's acting their butts off, especially the guy that's Koichi. He has a lot on his shoulders.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. And he goes for it. He has a lot of like really big emotional moments and he pulls it off.
Yeah,
He's really good.
And there's a fine line between going over the top and like going extreme.
Yeah.
Like, and it makes sense that he is acting the way that he is and
Right.
everything.
It's a
And
little melodramatic, but it's a Godzilla movie.
yeah, I mean, if you were in his situation, it would you would act melodramatic.
For
yeah.
sure. Yeah. He's lost so much. Like
Yeah, I think
he's just
he's holding it
devastated.
together pretty well for a guy that's basically just like, oh yeah, um, you're a coward, everybody hates you, your parents are dead, you got nothing to live for. Like,
Yeah.
just give up and die. That's basically what he's being told the entire movie.
Just lie
Pretty
on the
much.
ground and die.
Yeah.
It's
And it
just
has to be
yeah.
the guy who like basically told him that first to tell him like, no, you should live for him to like finally get that closure.
Right.
Yeah. It's the indomitable human spirit.
Hmm.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
film gives you really the embodiment of what the human spirit can do, and I like it.
Yeah. And what like yeah, what people can do when they like get together and just like stick to something, like stick to a
Yes.
plan that they're like all dedicated behind.
Yeah, we can destroy. He's like, fuck it. He said, if there's a big ass giant lizard in our, not in our ocean, we're banding together to get rid of this fucker.
If the fucking governments of the world won't do anything, we'll just get a bunch of
We'll do it
decommissioned boats and
ourselves.
sink this bitch.
You know what? I have this question. Could John Wick kill Godzilla? I wonder.
No.
No. Look,
He
John
couldn't.
Wick is not a god amongst men in the sense that Godzilla is a god amongst men.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
John Wick uses guns and knives.
I just
John
sorry,
Wick is just a
I'm
skilled
looking-
assassin.
I'm just picturing this like John Wick going in there, see Godzilla, and just looks at the guns and says, "I'm gonna need a bigger gun."
I'm more interested in seeing John Wick versus Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh shit, that'd be fun.
I feel like Shadow would still barely win, but it would be an interesting battle nonetheless.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They'd be like,
Just throw in Neo in there just for good measure.
yeah.
Neo could put up a fight.
Neo could probably beat Godzilla.
Yeah.
He'll
Because
be
Neo
dead.
flies.
He can fly. Yeah, he could probably go into Godzilla and fuck him up.
I mean, at Matrix Revolutions is basically just Dragon Ball Z at the end.
Exactly.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
In the video game the Matrix, like the Path of Neo, he fights like a giant kaiju Smith. Like all of the Smiths
They
combine
all
into
form
one
one
giant.
big Agent Smith.
Exactly. Yeah,
This-
so
That makes a lot
he
of
fights
sense.
that. Yeah.
This
So
seems
he could.
odd.
He could do it.
This seems oddly stupid. What system was this game on?
PS2, I believe,
Damn it.
and probably
Okay.
others.
The best gaming console of all time. I will die on that hill. I
I
don't care.
agree. I'm with you.
I have a lot of good memories with my PS2.
Well, we
Same.
did a PS2 list, Christmas list, so make sure you go watch that. Um, so anything else about this film? Because I want to leave any stone unturned before we any thoughts before we get to the sequel pitches.
Well, you mentioned a lot of the films like before, like you mentioned Jaws and Shin Godzilla. That's actually a lot of what the film was inspired by.
Yeah,
And also War of the Worlds. And it says the film's a Hayao Miyazaki. That I absolutely see. If you've seen any of
Totally.
Miyazaki's work, you know
Hmm.
he's very much anti-war, environmentalist, perseverance,
yeah.
good character study. And I think that's like, I mean, is it stereotypical that, of course, when you think of Japanese films, you think of Hayao Miyazaki? Yes, but there's
He's
a
the
reason for
best.
yeah.
He's
And
amazing. Yeah.
yeah, I think Gareth Edwards also talked with the director at the same convention and mentioned Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Jurassic Park, and Dunkirk.
Mm.
Dunkirk.
So there's the Dunkirk reference.
Nolan.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind. That's interesting. I didn't think of that,
I
but
didn't
that
see
I can
that
see
in
it
this
now.
film.
It could be for like when they first make contact with him, except that it wasn't friendly like in Close Encounters.
Ah,
Right.
gotcha.
Yeah,
I
and
feel like
and
that's
like
where
some of
War
the
of the
planning
Worlds.
to like meet the aliens,
I
like
can see
the
World of the
formulating the
War of the
plan, like
Yeah, War
Worlds.
of the Worlds for sure.
for
I can
sure. Yeah.
see that in this film. Close Encounters, I just
Like
don't see
like the
that.
Spielberg remake, especially.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I can see
A lot of
I,
Spielberg. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of Spielberg.
Close Encounters. I don't see it, but I can see War of the Worlds. I can see it, but yeah,
Jurassic Park as well.
yeah, I
Like
can see
maybe it's
Yeah.
just
definitely
because he's
Jurassic
just a
Park too.
big
I
because
can
he's
see.
like a big T-Rex. But yeah, that's about it. Great movie.
Great movie,
Very good movie.
very good
I'm
movie.
kind of surprised this was your first time watching it, Mac.
Well, here's the thing. I watch a lot of films and I review a lot of stuff and I edit a lot of stuff. So whenever I get my free time, I try to watch a lot of. I try to backlog a lot of stuff. And this is on my list. I just
You
didn't get
saw
to.
Godzilla X Kong.
That was awesome. I get it.
It was awesome.
It is pretty awesome. That's a different kind of
Scott,
awesome.
you gotta
It
understand. I
is.
got like a
It's
whole
actually
list of
crazy how
movies.
much of that movie is
Yeah, I
like
haven't watched.
dialogue free. Like a lot of it is like silent and like telepathic, or like, giant apes doing sign language. It's
Yeah,
it's
and
pretty bold.
I mean, you're there to see exactly that.
No,
Godzilla
yeah,
and
Godzilla versus
face King
the
Kong.
giant monkey. Yeah,
Exactly. You're
yeah.
there to
And they
see
made
Kong ride a Godzilla.
they made King Kong the size of Godzilla too, which was always one of the biggest problems.
Yeah.
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 But
They
that they
just made him
somehow they
huge.
built up to it, and for me that was it was worth the wait.
It
Yeah, and
I
he
was.
gets
mean,
to swing around a smaller ape like
and
it's a
then of
baseball
course they got
bat.
to team up to beat Mecha Godzilla, which is just like, isn't that how it always goes? They fight it out, but then they got to team up to face another monster.
See, I just want to see Godzilla and King Kong like fist bump. Like, all right, let's do this.
Fist bump? I mean, in the MonsterVerse at least, he's got those little arms, Godzilla.
Yeah,
So
but
he
we need to
he's
see
gonna
like
he's gonna have a
something
hard
like,
time giving him a little fist bump.
all right, we're gonna play poker tonight. Yeah, bro. Or
And
the
I mean,
Predator
still Godzilla
handshake.
kicks his ass
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
There.
Meet me in the Hollow Earth.
You know what? I wonder what would be a Predator handshake between Godzilla and Kong. Hey, remember I kicked your ass, you son of a bitch.
Kind of like Alien versus Predator, where they have the what I like to call the sled of friendship, where it was I think that was Sanaa Lathan
I think
and
so, yeah.
a Predator are on
And the
this like bobsled
Predator.
defeating the giant alien queen.
What an
It's so
absurd
stupid.
statement.
I
uh,
know. I wish, but it's true. That's what
It is.
happens.
It
we're,
is. That does
we,
happen.
look,
Best part of that movie is Lance Henriksen.
look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest here, and
Legend.
I'm just gonna say this. I know we're off topic, off of Godzilla, but I really believe we're never gonna get a good Alien versus Predator film. I'm just gonna be honest here.
Yeah,
Probably.
I like the first Alien versus Predator for what it is.
I don't hate
Like
it, but yeah, it's not like
it's
my
not
favorite.
technically a good movie, but I still have a lot of fun with it.
Oh yeah, I had fun with the first one. I just know like, oh, we're never
Second
gonna.
one, don't even get me started.
Oh hell no, that movie
Don't get me
sucked.
started.
The
That movie
second one's
sucked.
like basically like all in the dark. You can't even see
You
anything,
can't see
right?
who, what, where, whatever happened. And I was like, this movie sucks. This is
They just
ass.
nerfed it.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the sequel pitches. So I guess you want me to get out the way.
I think I should get mine out of the way because I don't really have much.
All right, go ahead.
Like I gave Mac a hard time about like coming up with a pitch and then I just totally shit the bed.
Yeah.
So I've got a handful of titles. If you guys feel like using them, by all means. So I've got Godzilla plus two, Godzilla times Kong, Godzilla divided by three, Godzilla minus one plus three, which is just Godzilla minus two. So feel free to use any of those. And Godzilla times Kong could be about Peter Jackson's Kong.
Awesome. Um, so I think Billy got a better pitch than me, so I'll go next. Um, my film. I'm not going to use any of your titles. I'm sorry, Scott.
It's all good.
Um, but I named my film, and yeah, bear with me here. I named my film Godzilla X, Roman numeral X, which is going to be subtitled 10 years later. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah,
It's around
Godzilla
the
10 years
It's
later.
it's it's a bit of a like an Xbox style of naming.
Yeah, look, I literally had to put 10 years later because I really wanted to do this. So it
Or,
makes
or
sense,
like an H2O.
sort of, but this is gonna be better than that shit fest.
or Jason
Um,
X.
Jason X. Yeah.
Jason X sucked. Well, Jason X is awesome. I don't care what you say.
Are you
Yeah,
bringing
Jason X is
Godzilla to
awesome.
space?
All
If
right, so
Godzilla goes to space, I'm totally in.
Why not? He's been to space before.
Yeah.
Well, he's had enemies from space,
yeah,
technically.
Well, let's get him
so
up
my
there.
my film is set in 1957, so it's the 50s. The Cold War is at it's been 10 years after Godzilla's been defeated. The Cold War is at foot. Japan is having to deal with spies and ongoing secret wars going on. Shima now 10 years old, and Akio, who is now 10 years older as well. Um, they're enjoying life with Narcrio, who's dealing with that they couldn't figure out what was wrong with that marking. But she is dealing with memory loss, and she's trying to gain back the memory loss after the attack by Godzilla. But she has flashbacks every once in a while. So every once in a while she has a flashback of what happened, and we she doesn't know what the flashbacks are going to. She doesn't know. She just sees flashbacks of certain things going on, but she cannot recall what the flashbacks is referring to. But she remembers everybody else. She just doesn't remember how she got in that hospital bed. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah. Um, but while they're trying to regain their, while they're trying to help, while they're trying to get Narca her memory and help her out as she's trying to regain normalcy in her life. Kenji is during his 10 years is like a hermit. He is literally like in his house. He is studying because he really believes even after all this shit, after he's believing after the 10 years, he still feels like Godzilla is still alive. He still thinks Godzilla's still alive. He can come, he's coming back. So he's studied all these different things. Like he's like I've done every scientific thing that possible that could get him. But how was he on this earth? How was he formed? Maybe history has something to do that. So Kenji starts studying the history of what different monsters and aliens until he comes across something about a tribe that worships type a moth type creature, where the music soothes the beast. So with the help of Shishima and Showa, with the help of Shishima and the kid, They're on the hunt for this mythical beast. So, in this part, the film will go. I'm not going to go into detail. They'll go into detail of what they're doing, their travels, until they finally found the Lord layer and they see a cocoon. Now, you know, you know, the kid is sitting there messing around with stuff, and Kenji keeps reading, reading the writing on the wall, and knowing that that this is the layer that the cocoon is Mothra, and Mothra sacrificed herself to trap an even evil, a bigger evil, which is Ghidorah. That's where I'm going to end it right there.
Okay, okay, not bad. Actually, I do
Oh,
have some similar stuff for it. So I titled mine Godzilla Zero Hour. So the
Damn.
whole thing is, for the human plot line, I wanted Koichi to still, like, his big question is, where do I go from here? Like, it seems obvious, but with Noriko and like the black thing on the neck, we're gonna treat Noriko like David Cronenberg's The Fly, where like she's
Oh
trying
man, this is
to.
good. Oh my god.
But here's the problem: they need Godzilla cells to help find a way to manage whatever she's got, like her transforming. And the problem is that they think Godzilla's dead, so of course they get all the crew back together. So there's the reason for that. Noriko or Akiko is a little bit older and is starting to act more like a kid, so there's causing that problem. And it's just Koichi trying to be a dad while also trying to care for the sick mom that is Noriko. And it's going to be more so like focused on her because I feel like she also had an interesting story. We could delve more into that. And like the we can keep up with the themes of hope, redemption, loss, like all that stuff. We could expand upon that through her character. Now, for the monster portion of it, obviously Godzilla was regenerating. So when my pitch to bring in more monsters, like you said, Mac, when he blew up, there were parts of him that scattered. One part would become Nina, his son. So that's how we get the son of
son of
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
But another part is it got infused with sea creatures, and that's how we can get um, Ghidorah.
Damn.
Or heck, we can even get Biollante back there because that's what happened um, with Biollante is that it was made up of parts of destroyed Godzilla cells. But I want Ghidorah because obviously I want this team to try to tackle the different monsters.
Hmm.
We maybe they like are trying to find Godzilla and they come across this random island and Mothra is the protector of that island. And they just go island hopping and it's a different monster for each one. So you could just introduce like Anguirus or Rodan or I still I would issue them a challenge. I wanna include Jet Jaguar in a way or like at least in a Easter egg. I don't know how that would work, but because it's just like a ridiculous, um, like he's just a ridiculous Gundam that was literally created by a kid winning a contest. But yeah, it's
It,
zero hour
I
because
mean,
like
if they could figure out a way to get Kenji to build it.
yeah, yeah, and maybe like we have like Bizarro Kenji and he helps create or set the seeds for Mechagodzilla, which would be if they want to make a third one.
Hmm.
Don't want to introduce Mechagodzilla right away, but we can introduce Ghidorah.
Nah, yeah,
Sure.
you
Right.
can build up to Mechagodzilla. Even the MonsterVerse knew that.
Yeah, and we can get all the monsters to of course go after Ghidorah because he's the big one. It's got three heads after all and can
Right.
fly.
Yeah. So you need
But
three monsters to team up against them.
yeah, so there we go. We got Rodan, Mothra, and Godzilla. But
Godzilla.
they all fight at the same time. So Ghidorah is really outmatched, but it's powerful enough where it could take on all three of them. And the zero hour is also referring to like Noriko, it's starting to really affect her health and stuff. So it's that get her cured. So yeah, hopefully that that satisfies everybody with a pitch to the sequel. If any of this comes true, like I swear to God, I did not know.
I
Yeah,
mean, I'd
if
be
that if
psyched
that's if,
if
I
we
feel like
got
out
all
of
those
all
fucking
ours, I think
monsters in the next one. That would be great.
yeah, I feel
And
like
we
out
could
of
set
all
it
yours,
during like
yours is realistic. Mine
and we could
is
set it like during like the Korean War, where Japan was actually more of like an ally to the US and they provided a lot
Yeah.
of it provided a lot of prosperity for their country and they became a superpower again.
yeah.
And they earned back the trust that they lost during World War II. So the money is good for everybody and everyone's working and stuff. And if you got to kill off a character, then we'll decide that later, but
I
I'd
think
rather
if you're
not.
gonna, it's gonna probably either be Doc or the Captain.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I feel like
somebody's
it would
gonna
be
die.
Doc because Doc's the most likable. Like
Right.
he was
Yeah.
my favorite character
Yeah.
outside of Koichi.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
Same.
a hard thing to say because I really like everybody.
Oh, I do too. Yeah.
Yeah. But the Doc is just like he's this adorable little just gentleman. He's just a
Yeah,
scientist gentleman.
he's got the crazy hair, the big
Yeah.
glasses, and
He's
you're
he's
just
like
like
ripped straight out of an anime. He's great.
Yeah. He is awesome.
and he's just so kind to everybody as
He
well.
is. Yeah.
No,
Takes a
nobody's
picture of
really
Noriko.
like an asshole except for like maybe Tachibana and sometimes the captain, but he's more so like has like the gruff like effing around
Yeah.
mentality where he's not entirely serious.
And Tachibana only becomes an asshole after Koichi gets all of his men killed.
So he has a reason to be an
Yeah, yeah.
asshole to Koichi.
In particular, yeah.
Yeah, he has every right to be upset with him.
Yeah. But he's cool. He was cool with Koichi up until that point.
Yeah. So I hope that's good.
Oh, that
I
was
liked
better
it,
But
than
man.
mine.
It's better when I just had a bunch of titles.
you,
I mean,
you had all the joke titles.
Yeah, yeah. That's
look,
what I'm good for.
I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I put a little effort in mine, but I still liked yours. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No,
I like
yours was
that.
solid
I
too.
like yours. I liked your pitch as well. There was some solid ideas in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um.
And of course, we got to kill Mothra because Mothra always dies.
Poor
Yeah.
Mothra.
That's the point. Like Mothra is sacrifice herself. I think in my film, I actually have. I didn't
Mothra's
say
like Yamcha, just always just gets killed.
he always got it's Yamcha. Yeah, Mothra's Yamcha. But in my film, I have actually a deleted scene at the end of my film. Because
You
obviously
it's not that movie hasn't even been made. You already got deleted scenes.
oh no, not the deleted scene, like the not the deleted scene, but
Like a
the
post credit.
post credits. The post credit scene will be obviously Gidero dies, and um the Japanese government tries to pick up all the leftovers of the Gidera, and the person that's heading up the operation is none other than than a doctor played by Ken Watanabe.
So it's
So you want
crossing
to
over?
connect it. So you want to cross it over with the MonsterVerse because that's what they did with Mechagodzilla. It was made up of the skeleton of
Well, I
King
want to get
Ghidorah.
characters. I
Yeah.
like Ken
They
Watanabe
used
for
his
that.
head like a VR
Yeah.
helmet.
Well, I
Yeah,
can use Ken Watanabe because he died in
like a
that universe, so
basis.
we can just
Yeah.
bring him in. So I just want to bring him in as a mad scientist. So he's
Just so he could just say, "Let them fight."
yeah, damn
But
right.
okay, but he did die.
Yeah, he blew up in a nuclear explosion.
He
Yeah, so
did.
that they could get to the Hollow Earth, I think. Or
Yeah,
no,
Yeah,
so they
even
could supercharge
yeah, so
Godzilla.
they could supercharge Godzilla. He activated a fucking atomic bomb
Yeah, at the bottom of the
at the
ocean.
bottom of the ocean.
yeah,
So even if he somehow survived that, he still would have been killed from all the radiation.
Maybe
yep.
that nuclear blast like rocketed him into another universe. And now he's just
So you're
he
trying to
he
tell me
went back
Ken
in
Watanabe's a
time.
quantum leaper? This is bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. In your version of this
And yeah, in
universe.
your version, he's the protagonist of Quantum Leap.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He's like, oh
yeah.
boy.
He's Scott Bakula. In this movie, Scott Bakula plays Ken Watanabe.
Yeah, he's Ken Watanabe, but it's Scott Bakula. He just literally just like he just see Godzilla attacking, and he's like, "Oh boy."
Or his mind is in somebody else like Star Trek 3.
Oh boy. I didn't even try to make it funny. I actually feel like that there should be. I really am setting up for Mecha Godzilla. I feel like that's the next one after the sequel. Mecha Godzilla's coming. That's the way I feel. They're gonna do Mecha. So I know
Like
Ghidorah.
like
If the
as
next movie does well enough.
like a government deterrent
Mm,
because they know that monsters are out there and they feel threatened. But
yeah,
in doing so, they created another monster and then it goes against them.
yeah, and
This should
Godzilla
be
actually
like
says, "Well, I gotta clean your mess up."
this universe's Cold War should be about like everybody trying to build their own Mecha Godzilla.
I like that idea.
That's instead of it's the alternate history instead of the nuclear arms race.
Exactly.
It's the mech race.
We're building
So
Yeah.
it's
our
like
own
Pacific
Mecha
Rim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Godzilla.
This is what leads to Pacific Rim.
So hold on, Scott. You're trying to Pacific Rim this shit, aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean,
Gotta
why
be drift
not?
compatible, man.
Oh God. Oh man. From America, we have Godzilla of Mecha Godzilla of America. He eats hot dogs and say fuck yeah.
That would be kind of cool. Like every country has their own version of
That would
Godzilla.
be cool.
It's just
Watch.
like, yeah, here's one that's just red, white, and blue.
One with a samurai sword. What would Godzilla Australia look like?
It's super chill. It has a surfboard. I don't know.
It would look like Paul Hogan. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it just carries around a giant didgeridoo.
And wears a
And
leather
then it
hat.
blows into the didgeridoo and it causes like waves.
Yeah, you just say, yeah, that doesn't
It's an
pop.
atomic
Hey,
didgeridoo.
And of course the boomerang. You can't go wrong without a Australian boomerang,
Yeah, I mean that could do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
especially since it can come back.
That's right.
Oh yeah, and then you got the UK Godzilla just sipping tea.
Sipping tea on Big Ben.
Big
With
tea.
crooked metal teeth.
Oh boy. Oh man. Oh shit, Africa Godzilla would just be fucked up.
I'm not touching that one.
Me neither.
I'm not either. But what I will say is I'm glad I finally got you to watch this movie.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
You,
man.
you came to me and were like, you can pick any movie you want, anything.
Dude,
yeah,
I'm
and
glad you
I
picked it,
watched
man.
it. I'm
Because it's been a while since I've seen it, and
I'm,
I
I am
enjoyed it
actually
again
super
thoroughly.
glad. I watched this film. It was the perfect timing because I was fixing dinner, and I thought at first, when I first watched it, I thought, man, okay, I'm gonna put this on in the background. And then while I was cooking dinner, I was like, wow, wow. That's why I got some of the part. I'm gonna be honest. I watched this film, but there was some parts I was like cooking and watching, cooking and watching. I missed some parts, and I'm actually upset that I missed some parts of this film. So that's
Well,
why I
that's
was
the
like,
great thing about rewatching a movie is that you can sit down with your cooked dinner and then just eat you're watching it, you know? Kill two
Exactly.
birds with
Yeah,
one
and
stone.
don't
Dude,
get me
give it
wrong,
another
I'm gonna
watch.
rewatch
It's worth
this.
it.
I'm
Find
gonna
the time to
rewatch
do
this
it.
with some popcorn, but I was actually upset. Like, man, I wish I popped some popcorn. That would have been
I also
amazing.
recommend minus color. Like
Yeah.
watching it in black and white is also
What,
it
you watch
really
this
works
black and
well.
white?
You
Yeah,
can, yeah.
they did a version where it's in black and white. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's one of the
Godzilla
few
minus
like
color.
black and white translations that I think actually kind of works and makes sense.
Yeah, it makes it feel vintage,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah,
also
it
makes
feels
sense
like
because the
the
original
old one.
Godzilla wasn't black and white.
Exactly.
Yeah. Golly.
Yeah, it looks really good. It's
Yeah,
it's worth a watch. I saw minus color in theaters. I got to see it in
I
theaters.
did not see minus color in theaters, but I
Yeah.
did see the original, and I was just like, yeah, no, this is everything I've ever wanted in a Godzilla movie. I could not get enough of it,
Yeah.
and I was so happy it did so well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that
I
it
mean,
actually did win an Oscar for I think best visual effects.
I think so. Yeah.
yeah. That's what I heard on there. Yeah, I heard they got an Oscar. They got so many Japan Academy Awards.
Yeah, it was a very big award winner overseas. Not as much in America, but it did win an Oscar, which
Well, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, like the fact that it got as acclaimed as it did, I was not
it's the first
expecting a
Godzilla I think to
Godzilla.
win an Oscar.
Yeah, like a Godzilla movie.
Yeah,
yeah.
Franchise that's been around for 70 years. Now 71 years. That's
yeah.
crazy. That's longer than James Bond.
longest film franchise.
Yeah, and James Bond had not gotten
Period.
a single fucking Academy
Unless you
Award.
want to count King Kong as a franchise, but not like Godzilla, who would like consistently put out films.
Yeah, because technically the new Kongs aren't king. They're just
Yeah, they
Kong.
just call him Kong. Well, I mean now
Hmm.
he's technically a king, but
Wait, did King
Well,
Kong get an Academy Award?
did he what?
Peter
did King
Jackson's?
Kong ever win an Academy Award? I don't know. That's
Uh,
a good question.
Because it
oh,
was a good
'Cause the
maybe.
only
film.
two that matter are the original movie and the Peter Jackson version.
Peter Jackson
Yeah.
movie is not bad. It's pretty
No, the
good.
I
Peter
mean,
Jackson version is
I
like you can
love
tell
it.
he was a fan of the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem with that movie is
Too long.
it's way
Too
too long. Peter
long.
Jackson needs to learn how to just cut films.
Yeah.
He needs to learn how to trim the fat,
Yeah.
so to
Maybe
speak.
maybe cut like 45 minutes to an
We
hour
spent
per
like
movie.
way too long on that boat. I was so bored, and I was like, please, for the love of God, do something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and maybe we
Do
don't need
something.
like
I
a
thought.
ice pond ballet in
I
the
I
thought.
middle
mean,
of
I
its
thought.
final
like,
action
I thought
sequence.
yeah,
Skull.
like
I thought Skull
Andy
Island was
Serkis
gonna
did
be
a
that for a minute,
phenomenal
and I was like,
job.
oh,
Oh
thank
yeah.
God.
Yeah, he was great. So was Naomi Watts. A really good cast.
Yeah, really
Yeah, it
awesome
was really good.
cast. Possible second time Oscar winner Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
You want? Yeah. And
Yeah.
who would have thought? I didn't think
And
Jack
Kyle
Black had it.
Chandler was in that, and also he's in the MonsterVerse.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
But I'm always gonna see him as Coach Eric Taylor from Friday Night Lights. If you
Well,
guys
I
have never seen
mean,
Friday Night Lights, it's one of the
Oh
greatest
yeah,
shows of
yeah.
all
I
time.
haven't,
You-
no,
I
but
have.
I mean,
I'm
if
a
you
big fan of
wanna,
Kyle Chandler.
if you want a perfect representation of what like m middle America is, yeah, or like dirt poor America, do
Friday
that.
Night Lights is it.
Football's not even really like
It's not the
the
centerpiece.
it's not the centerpiece. It's more so like it's more of like a catalyst for things. It's more just so about a show about life. And
Hmm.
that's why it's like, damn, this feels so real.
Right.
But yeah, Kyle Chandler is the main character and he's phenomenal. That's where I learned him from.
Yeah, he's a very good actor. I remember watching him on I think it was called Early Edition
Right.
back in the day. He played like a guy who would get a newspaper, like his cat would bring him a
Wow,
newspaper
that's
every day.
really throwing it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the newspaper was from like the next day. So he would like he would be able to like help people.
And now he's Green Lantern, so
And
it
now
all
he is
works
a Green
out.
Lantern. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. But another thing, one more thing, Jack Black does a good job in that film.
Yeah, I like
That
Jack
was the
Black in
first
that
time I
movie.
saw him where he wasn't being like,
Goofy.
Jack Black, where
Yeah.
he's often did comedic roles. I didn't see The Holiday up until that point. But Jack Black needs to do more serious stuff because he's actually very good at it.
He's very
He
good.
is, yeah. Yeah, he's only done like a handful of serious roles, but he's always good.
Yeah.
Something about comedians doing dramatic or like serious roles.
Yeah,
I mean,
It just really fits.
well,
it
Adam
really is.
Sandler, just like every once in a while, does a good performance, and sometimes,
Jim Carrey has proven time and time again that he is amazing.
Yeah, but he
yeah,
can then also do fucking Dr. Robotnik
Yeah.
and
yeah.
his
Doctor
grandpa.
Robotnik
I mean,
was
Robin
awesome.
Williams did it all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he did. Yeah.
but Doctor Robotnik, he was awesome, so I don't give a fuck.
That's one of those like castings where I was like, really?
And then
Okay.
you
You know
watch it, and
what?
you're like,
I'll play along with this. We'll see where this goes.
yeah, and then you watch, and you're like, oh, okay, he did a good
Yeah,
job.
I don't know who's done the casting for all the Sonic movies, but they're on fire. They have not
Yeah.
really missed yet.
They didn't miss. Them motherfuckers don't miss.
We'll see
I
who
mean,
they get for Amy.
I
yeah,
don't
I
care
mean,
about
if
Amy. I
they
want
could
to know
get
who's gonna
Idris
be.
Elba as Knuckles, they can get anybody.
Well, here's
He's a lot of fun in those movies.
I don't give a fuck. I want to know who's gonna be tits to back. Um,
It's the bat,
Tits
Jesus,
to
man.
that, you mean?
yeah, look, we need to know who wrote.
I wanted Kristen Ritter. She would have been perfect for that role. But the problem is that character, I don't know how they could do that character in a kids movie.
No,
There's
because
a lot
it
of
might be
problems.
tough. It might be a little too risque.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised that they did as much with Shadow, but I was happy
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
because the
it
stuff with
was
Shadow
solid.
is like the best. That's the best of all three of the Sonic stuff.
Mhm.
I already know what's gonna happen, and I'm already predicting this, and you can mark this down. And it's probably gonna happen in Sonic 4. It's probably gonna be Sydney Sweeney, and I'm dead serious. It's probably gonna be her.
Probably. Or
Probably
Zendaya.
her. worry. They're gonna get the hottest actress at the time, and they're gonna
Yeah,
try to
Cindy
do it.
Sweeney or Zendaya. It's gonna
What
be one of
about
those
Probably
two.
gonna
getting
be one of
somebody with
those two.
like
You're
a
correct.
recognizable voice? Yeah,
Yeah,
Zendaya, I think, would be a little.
I
She's
wouldn't
playing
mind
Shrek's
Zendaya
daughter though.
being Rouge.
Don't even get me started on that Shrek 5 teaser.
Oh, I
Don't.
didn't see the teaser.
Don't. It's they completely redesigned everybody.
Oh
It's
no.
it's weird.
Wait, is it like the Puss in Boots movie that came out?
No, I wish it was. It should have been like that.
Yeah, that was good.
That's a good redesign.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, just watch it after this.
I'll take a look.
All right,
It's
well,
not it's not very long.
Yeah.
all right. Let's go ahead and get the plugs. Billy, it was a pleasure to have you on. You
Yeah,
have
we'll have to have you back on again.
love to have
Pleasure
you
to
back
be here. I
on.
always love helping out. And you know, we tried getting myself on, or Mac tried getting me on a couple of times before, but the scheduling just didn't work out. But yeah, if my schedule is always open, I'm always down to hang
All
out.
right, we'd love to
You
have
guys
you
are
back.
cool and
Definitely.
everything.
And you can pick anything, man.
We'll let you pick any film you want. Any film.
I'll try not to muck it up.
You didn't fuck it up. Don't worry. You didn't fuck it up. Don't worry. All right, Scott. Got anything to plug?
Yeah, I mean, watch me and Mac play games together. I've just played Shadow of the Colossus, which is also about beautiful giant creatures dying. And I plan
For
Great
you.
game.
and I plan to continue killing these giant creatures. And Mac will be playing Sonic Adventure next,
Oh
but
yes,
by the time this comes out.
I will be playing Sonic Adventures next time.
Yeah.
It's probably already been played, but I'll be playing.
Yeah, by the time this comes out, you can just go watch this on
Yeah,
YouTube.
go watch Sonic Adventures. Also, by the time this come out, you're probably gonna be seeing a lot of more pre-tape videos. As me and Eric are gonna be playing some games. We're probably gonna be playing. He's going to be in that stream, and he's going to tell us what Sonic Adventures like because he's our resident Sonic expert. And are also going to be streaming probably some of the stuff that you want me to play, like want me to replay, like Siphon Filter. I already got some of that. I got some of the recording of that, so we're probably watching that. But also we got what was it? We also got Mega Man Legends 2 coming out. Me and Eric is going to be playing that. We got so much stuff coming out in the Game Fixers. You're going to be flooded with stuff, so don't worry. But Scott, next time on Film Talk, we have Franny on the episode.
Yes, we do.
And what film did she pick?
Oh, she picked was it Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves?
Ooh, that's a fun
I
movie.
did for
Yeah.
you.
I'm not I only seen it once. I saw it a long time ago. I wasn't a fan.
There's
I'm
a lot of
interested in a rewatch.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see how people land on that movie.
Yeah.
It's definitely a mixed bag.
I'm not a
Yeah.
big Kevin Costner fan, but I love Alan Rickman and pretty much everybody else in the
Oh
movie.
yeah, Alan
That's
Rickman's
probably why. It depends on your level of how much you like Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
right, right.
I love Kevin Costner, so I have no
I'm
problem with it.
I'm pretty I'm pretty mixed to like, just mostly underwhelmed by him. I like certain movies. Like I
Oh
love
no, I
Waterworld.
understand why people don't like him.
Yeah.
I completely understand. It's the same reason why people don't like Russell Crowe.
Sure, yeah.
They have very similar
And
vibes.
I
Yeah.
am one of the few people who saw Horizon Part 1 in theaters, so
I was
yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I was a little shocked
I was very confused.
that it didn't do better with certain demographic.
Right? Yeah. But apparently the second one will be released, so I'll be seeing that too.
Through sheer um stubbornness
Truly. It's kind of
and ego.
admirable.
But yeah, we're gonna be watching Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, not
Prince
Men
of
in
Thieves.
Tights, Prince of Thieves.
I will probably also watch Men in Tights.
It's not gonna help, Scott. We gotta watch. We gotta watch.
It'll help me.
You can watch both, it works.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it is true. He's the only one that can speak the King's English. Um, also, Gamer Grudge is coming on. Make sure you watch that. Also, dope albums. Make sure you watch it. We got dope albums. I believe this month we are talking about Drake's album, Too Far Gone. Make sure you go watch that episode. It is so fun. Um, Miss literally goes on a tangent about how she don't like traits, just like a certain person on the channel. But it's gonna be fun. Make sure you go watch that. And also more stuff coming, people. More stuff is coming. Don't worry, we got a lot more stuff. I got a lot of stuff in the vault that I want to unlock and show y'all. So get ready. It's gonna be big. It's gonna be epic. You're gonna see more content of the kazoo. So hope you enjoyed this episode. Once again, Billy, thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Love to have you. Guys, that'll be it. We'll see you on the next episode of Film Talk. Bye.
Bye.